bigger gut can create low back pain because it pulls forward. So we need to really talk about why we would eat real good foods to get our visceral fat down and why not doing that contributes to the back pain we have. So
They are sweetened with allulose, which is also a type of fiber, and stevia, as well as monk fruit. And each one of these sweeteners does not raise blood sugar. So it does a body good. If you don't raise blood sugar,
faith in something, and in this case, you're talking about faith in God, that gives us hope. Hope
That's right.
is what drives us to good actions. When people become hopeless, there's also a tangential term effect.
Let's go.
With back pain being one of the most common reasons that people visit a doctor's office, whether it's from a trauma, an injury, being overweight, having postural disturbances, and the list can go on, there are a lot of really great things that we can do, from just simply changing our diet and things that we take in nutritionally to simple exercises that we can perform at home. Let's just dive into this and talk about these solutions.
Now, even before we talk about the exercises and diet, we've got to talk about the way a bigger belly or a bigger gut can create low back pain because it pulls forward. So we need to really talk about why we would eat real good foods to get our visceral fat down and why not doing that contributes to the back pain we have. So, I mean, that's an obvious different show, different day, but it does relate. So when we talk about this idea of foods, we got to talk about, first of all, the anti-inflammatory foods that do not promote excess fat gain.
one of the best anti-inflammatory foods is going to be those oily fishes that contain omega-3 fatty acids. Omega-3 fatty acids are anti-inflammatory simply by nature. And if your body doesn't have enough omega-3s, it's going to take up those inflammatory oils into the cell membranes. Another one at the top of the list, of course, is curcumin or turmeric. That does a wonderful job at helping relieve joint pain, back pain, ankle pain, neck pain. So that's also something you'd want to have in your cupboard.
Well, and certainly, even though we take in those things from food, we need to supplement with those things as well. It's not uncommon for you and I to supplement on top of eating fatty fish 3 to 4 grams, 3 to 4,000 milligrams, same thing, of essential omega-3 fatty acids through EPA and DHA. And also, we will substitute or supplement with curcumin. I probably use 1,000 milligrams of that a day, and I like the
Just as a spice or a seasoning.
yeah, I use it a lot. Pretty much everything that I eat's got orange powdery stuff on it. That's the curcumin right there, right? And it's really fascinating because that does relieve some of the back pain, at least the inflammatory part of that.
There's a few other foods that we forget to think about that are also anti-inflammatory. Just simply going into our spice cabinet or even in the fresh vegetable section, taking things and putting them in your cart and then using them with cooking your dishes are like onions,
Yep.
garlic, shallots, leeks, even ginger is an anti-inflammatory.
Yeah, and you can sometimes find combination spices with more than one of those things in there. So don't feel like you got to go to the store and look for each individual one of those spices that Dr. Michelle just mentioned. You can actually find spices that contain all of those things and more, and you can get some really good sort of compounding benefits of that.
There's several really simple exercises that people can do at home, and they can just do them either laying flat on the floor or on their bed. One of them is the knee to chest.
Yeah, when you talk about just pulling the knee upwards toward the chest,
While
you're
laying on your back.
while laying on your back, you could do it in the chair like this. It's going to help a little bit, but when you're back, it's going to be better. You're talking about stretching that whole lower back, that whole lumbar area, which is going to be outstanding, and obviously it's going to build more flexibility. Flexibility is something that sort of builds. I like to look at that like resilience. You can get so tight that you don't bounce back enough, and boy, age is one of the things that is indicative and associated with more tightness.
Oftentimes, that lumbar spine, the rotational component of it just gets diminished, and simply laying on your back, knees bent or flexed, feet flat, rotating those knees side
Mm.
to side simply can aid the mobility and flexibility in the lumbar spine.
Yeah, it's like you're going to do this with both knees. Lying down, you're going to pull the leg up, but this time instead of just pulling it straight up, you're going to cross it over across the other one and maybe give it a pull over here. And that's going to twist the spine. And I do that a lot post workout, because it does, the low back does get tight. I think it's not just if you accumulate visceral fat, but you're sitting all the time and posture is bad. So these are good little techniques for that.
Also, just simply laying on your back, feet flat, knees bent, lifting the hips up. Sometimes the glutes just become so dysfunctional, those muscles forget that they actually need to work to support the lumbar spine.
Yep.
So, doing some simple back bridges can be beneficial for low back pain as well.
Yeah, a lot of people will sit on their back like this, and instead of like putting the hands over your head and making a bridge, they'll just use the bridge by lifting up their pelvis area or squeezing their gluteus and lifting it up, and that makes a big difference.
And last but not least, that simple camel pose where you're on your all fours and you're just simply raising your spine towards the ceiling and then sinking it down towards the floor. That also can create some mobility and flexibility in areas that might have become stiff.
It's funny, I sometimes call that the angry cat pose as well. It's really interesting because you're like the cat's all flaring up. But
So lots of solutions
yeah.
for low back pain, from food to flexibility with simple exercises at home.
There you go. So no more back pain for you. Put these things into practice.
What are healthy, sweet food substitutes?
Our best tips just ahead. If you're suffering from fatigue, if you know you got toxic overload because you're bringing in stuff that's actually inflammatory and toxic, it is time to get some answers. It's time to turn things around. It's time to get your body in a place where it can function again, because toxic buildup can and does and will kill you.
Kingdom Detox and Kingdom Detox packets.
In those are the supporting nutrients, the supporting micronutrients, vitamins, minerals, and amino acids that support all the functions of a whole Kingdom Detox. It also has Kingdom Fuel with it, so you can do a whole 2-week detox process with the detox packs, or you can just take the detox packs. Either way is fine, but it's going to support that process.
So the body's completely nourished. It gets a little bit of rest because it's not having to over digest, so to speak, and it gets the right nutrients that support those phases.
So we got to get the toxins out and let your body function well again. And that's why the Kingdom Detox process works. Kingdom Candy with a K again. 2 flavors. We got salted
Delicious.
caramel and peanut butter. These are great. I mean, they're
kind of like a complete meal.
yeah, they're 200 calories. People want to know that all the time, and not that we're worried about calories, but these things have great ingredients. They're not sweetened with sugars, and they don't have those false sugars or fake sugars, artificial
They've got
sugars.
fiber in them.
They do. It's interesting. Salted caramel crunch is our newest flavor. We'll come up with some other stuff at some point, but those can bridge the gap of that sweet tooth craving. They're sweetened with monk fruit. That's really, if you know what that is, it's not going to raise blood sugar.
It's really only 2 grams of sugar. I refer to it as the sweet without the cheat.
Any of these things out here are designed to be money-saving, nutrition-giving, and life-enhancing. And this is a big deal. So you'll find out, like thousands of other people did, that these things will help you live healthy longer.
I don't know about you, but I have to have that cup of coffee in the morning. And Kingdom Coffee is mold-free, it is pesticide-free, and it is organic. It's got this flavor that is delicious. You don't even have to put cream or sweetener in it.
And it's Kingdom Cup with a K,
K.
right? So this is important. 50% of all coffee, at least,
At least.
contains mold. And this is a key thing, that's in bean form, right? So you're gonna be a little grinder, they're just a few bucks, grind it up, put it in your maker and make it. Why did we go with the bean form, the whole bean? Because ultimately the powder form is the one that gathers the most moisture. And that means the more potential mold development. So this is actually organic, mold-free certified. It's got a little certificate with it. That's important because ultimately people drink coffee, it's cultural. And so we tried to meet the culture where it is and create a healthy alternative. Oh, you caught me. Well, I'm just looking for a snack here. I'm trying to figure out which one of these is the best. Wait a minute. One's a cereal and one is a candy bar. How can these things be healthy? Well, you know us, Kingdom Candy and Kingdom Crunch, we're not going to have sugars, but what are these sweetened with and why is this so good for you?
They are sweetened with allulose, which is also a type of fiber, and stevia, as well as monk fruit. And each one of these sweeteners does not raise blood sugar. So it does a body good. If you don't raise blood sugar, you don't raise insulin, and therefore you don't put yourself into a fat storing state.
So literally, I mean, I grab these things just to be funny, but I know I have one of these every day, this most days, and sometimes I'll have Kingdom Fuel most days as well. For example, this one right here is sweetened with allulose. It has some stevia in it, and it has a little bit of monk fruit. Okay, just what you just talked about. That doesn't raise blood sugar. None of this stuff does. So when I look at this, I'm like, what a blessing it is. People can have the sweet without the cheat, as you like to say.
That's right. And this Kingdom Crunch, kids love it. You put it in a bowl, you add a little bit of almond milk to it, and it turns the milk purple.
It does. And I think that people need to understand today that the driving force behind the addiction to sweets is not the sweet part of it, but it's actually the dopamine that it facilitates. Dopamine is a neurotransmitter that sort of gives us joy, right? When you have a piece of sugar, you do get the dopamine hit. Now, people need to understand that that sugar hit will drive dopamine as effective as the drug cocaine. So even when you have these, which are sweet, you're still going to get the dopamine hit, but you're not going to get the addiction attached with it. And you're not going to get the diseases attached with it. So there's a lot of things that we have out here besides monk fruit, allulose, and stevia that can provide good sweeteners that we like to have without having the deadly effects of the same processed sugars, right?
That's right. One of my favorite snacks, instead of ice cream, is I'll take Kingdom Fuel, particularly chocolate, freeze it, and then pull it out of the freezer when it's frozen, put it in a blender, and it's like ice cream. What a great alternative to added sugar.
Well, you can make little smoothie drinks out of it and stuff like that, which is fascinating. I know some people told me they were making little pops out of it. They'd freeze them and put a little stick in them and give them to kids and things like that. There's all kinds of things you can do. I'm grateful today that we have sweeteners like this because it does give us the opportunity to really substitute out something without changing culture too much, without changing taste, and even without changing too many habits. But when you bring in the right things, the result you get from the change would be dramatic. I do think that every child right now, and parents hear me, if you're listening to this program and your parent and your children are eating cereals, please, I beg of you, and I use that term intentionally, allow your child to have Kingdom Crunch instead and slowly sub it out. Give your child some Kingdom Candy. Mix in a little bit of Kingdom Fuel within the Kingdom Crunch, and it makes it more thicker, more protein heavy. It gives them some nutrients, and it will get the deadly ingredients of those other things out of their lives.
That's brilliant.
It's just important because if we don't do this and make changes, we're going to continue to see this metabolic disease that's happening. I mean, type 2 diabetes is getting so young right now. We're seeing children, 16, 18 years old, that are type 2 diabetic. What in the heck is that?
It's not good. So other
Mm.
things we can do as far as alternative sweeteners is we can maybe put some grapes in the freezer.
Oh, yeah.
Pull the grapes out, and that's a sweet treat. What about bananas? You can take bananas, put those in the freezer. Also bring those out, blend them. That's also kind of like an ice cream.
Well, you got carob, which gives you chocolate. That's one of Stevie and Nick, the people behind the camera back there. That's
It's
one of
one of
their
their
favorites to do.
favorites.
So, I mean, you can do those things. They do help. There's a bunch of stuff out there today, thank God.
I like to take Kingdom Fuel chocolate and blend it in my coffee. It's like a latte.
Yeah, we've done a lot of things, and obviously somebody has to do it somewhere. But honestly, there's a lot of stuff out here, and no kidding. We would never recommend anything to you that we're not doing ourselves. And that would just be about as hypocritical as we could ever get, wouldn't it? We're just not going to do it, are we?
No, we're going to be the hope dealers and
Yeah.
deal you hope every single day.
So think about this. Use this information in this segment to absolutely put into practice. I'll give you this guarantee with 100% certainty, and you lower that blood sugar, get the junk out, the quality of your life will absolutely 100% improve.
A healthier lifestyle with having faith.
It can be a life changer. Find out how next. Now we have it. Kingdom Crunch.
It's important to start breakfast off with a power-packed punch. You want a complete amino acid score, good protein. If you turn the label over and look at the back of the box, there is no added sugars in either one of these flavors, either peanut butter or acai bowl.
Peanut butter has 11 grams of high-quality protein. Acai bowl has 8. Peanut butter has 11 grams of carbohydrate, acai bowl 12, and both of them have a good solid fat content at 6 grams. Very filling, very healthy.
You will be fueling yourself with high-quality fuel, starting off the day right. You can even use Kingdom Crunch as a snack in the middle of the day if you just have a craving and you want to eat something that is good for you, has a crunch, and doesn't have a lot of calories.
There you go. Diabetic friendly, keto friendly, paleo friendly, Kingdom Crunch. And
Child friendly.
if you're suffering from fatigue, if you know you got toxic overload because you bring in stuff that's actually inflammatory and toxic, it is time to get some answers. It's time to turn things around. It's time to get your body in a place where it can function again, because toxic buildup can and does and will kill you.
Kingdom Detox and Kingdom Detox packets.
In those are the supporting nutrients, the supporting micronutrients, vitamins, minerals, and amino acids that support all the functions of a whole Kingdom Detox. It also has Kingdom Fuel with it, so you can do a whole 2-week detox process with the detox packs, or you can just take the detox packs. Either way is fine, but it's going to support that process.
So the body's completely nourished. It gets a little bit of rest because it's not having to over digest, so to speak, and it gets the right nutrients that support those phases.
So we got to get the toxins out and let your body function well again. And that's why the Kingdom Detox process works. Kingdom Candy with a K again. 2 flavors. We got salted
Delicious.
caramel and peanut butter. These are great. I mean, they're
kind of like a complete meal.
yeah, they're 200 calories. People want to know that all the time, and not that we're worried about calories, but these things have great ingredients. They're not sweetened with sugars, and they don't have those false sugars or fake sugars, artificial
They've got
sugars.
fiber in them. It's really only 2 grams of sugar. I refer to it as the sweet without the cheat. Hey friends, you already know the answer to this, but we'll ask you anyway. If you stay away from your favorite junk food for a month and then go back to supersizing it, will your health improve?
Well, that's the thing about change. To change, we have to be as consistent as possible.
And when we go back to an old habit, it's not the end of the world. We just get back at the new habit.
Before you know it, real transformation is evident to you and others.
That's why we offer a bunch of helpful bonuses when you subscribe to Kingdom Fuel.
Kingdom Fuel is our complete nutritional meal shake.
It's the simple start to a transformed life, and we'll auto ship every month so you don't run out.
You'll receive 2 free shaker cups, free access to our video courses, and a monthly call with us filled with practical inspiration.
Just see the link below or on your screen and subscribe today.
What is faith? What does that word mean anyway? A lot of definitions in the world today. And does faith have a connection to a healthy life or a healthy lifestyle? Our answer to those questions would be probably yes, it does. Probably there is such a thing as faith that really is defined correctly as doing something. And so when I talk about faith and healthy lifestyle, sweetheart, it seems like a remote connection because in America, we've done a very good job of segregating the idea of faith and health. We have a church here, and then we have a hospital here. It seems to me that if we believe in quote unquote faith, that healing and faith or health and faith should probably be in the same building. Just a thought. So comment on that.
Well, we know that individuals with faith or that have a faith oftentimes fare better with the diagnosis of a terminal illness. And I'm just going to take you to a scripture for just a second. This says, do you not know that your bodies are the temple of the Holy Spirit who is in you, whom you have received from God, and that you are not your own, and you were bought with a price. Therefore, honor God with your body. That's 1 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 19 and 20. Now, when you read that, it gives you a sense of wanting or motivation to take care of this temple. That when you take care of the temple and you're mindful of it, the outcome is going to be better.
Well, so, faith in something, and in this case, you're talking about faith in God, that gives us hope. Hope
That's right.
is what drives us to good actions. When people become hopeless, there's also a tangential term with that, faithless. When people are hopeful, they are also generally faithful. And you talk about that scripture in 1 Corinthians 6, which is one of my favorite. To even get that idea, you have to have faith that God made the physical body, and if he did so, we're to honor that greatest creation because he made mankind and said, hey, man, that's good. Of course, when he made you, he said, that's very good, But the bottom line is there's faith there. So when people have an outlook that something's better, it tends to drive them to better actions, which drives them to better health overall, right?
Yes, and of course, when you have faith, it also helps reduce the stress that could potentially lie upon you. Like it's all you, it's all your fault. That burden becomes so great. And when we have faith, we can actually take the yoke upon us, which helps to reduce that grind of stress.
So it's really about peace, isn't it? When you have a faithful, it could be F-U-L and F-U-L-L, I guess, but faithful and hopeful scenario in your life, something to hope for, something to have faith in, it can help you carry on and help you have a better outlook potentially and help you be more at peace inside because it gives you a reason. When you have no reason, it is not unreasonable to give up hope, is it? But when you have reason to go on, it gives us the ability to feed that hope. So hopefulness and even reasonableness gives us this identity of being able to go forward. So I think it's without question, we want people to consider having faith in God and actually seeking out that truth, whatever that looks like in you. Or wherever you are. But we also know that it does have an integral part in a positive way with our health.
Yeah, it just makes me excited as a clinician to see people more motivated, less stress. And then, of course, when you're less stressed, think of the things that come with that there's less potential to overeat and cause other problems. And what does stress bring with it? That thing called high tension or hypertension. So when we have faith, and we know that there is something greater, oftentimes it can ease that tension or high tension, and we might not even need 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 blood pressure medications if we have a little faith.
It's funny. I was thinking here of a scripture that just came to my mind. Faith without works is dead. Let me just translate that. Like, here's what that means. If you talk a bunch of faith, but you have no actions to match it up, you just wasted a good conversation. You become a perpetual word salad, and you should be eating the salad. So faith without works is dead. We need to not just talk it out, we need to live it out. And, people might say, well, don't preach me a sermon. Fine, I won't.
You do the sermon.
But we need to do it and live it. That's the
Yes.
point. The greatest sermons out there are not ones you hear online. They're not ones you hear in person. They're not ones you see on the internet. They're certainly not ones you hear on a cell phone somewhere. They are lived out in what you see every day. That's when you live it out. And that's what faith can do for one. It gives one the purposes, it gives one the processes, and even the ability and awareness to go forward.
Absolutely. And of course, we know with faith, you're going to have a better sense of mental well-being. That thing called anxiety and depression can become eased if we have a better sense of well-being and a faith or a hope in things not seen.
So faith promotes peace and ease. Lack of faith can promote anxiety and dis-ease.
If you need a little help, read our book, The Narrow Road.
Can a shake transform your life?
If it helps you invest in your health on a daily basis, the answer is
Yes!
Kingdom Fuel is our complete nutritional meal shake.
It's the simple start to a transformed life.
We'll auto ship every month so you don't run out.
You'll receive 2 free shaker cups, free access to our video courses, and a monthly call with us filled with practical inspiration.
Just see the link below or on your screen and subscribe today. Kingdom Candy with a K again. 2 flavors. We got salted
Delicious.
caramel and peanut butter. These are great. I mean, they're
kind of like a complete meal.
yeah, they're 200 calories. People want to know that all the time, and not that we're worried about calories, but these things have great ingredients. They're not sweetened with sugars, and they don't have those false sugars or fake sugars, artificial
They've got
sugars.
fiber in them.
They do. It's interesting. Salted caramel crunch is our newest flavor. We'll come up with some other stuff at some point, but those can bridge the gap of that sweet tooth craving. They're sweetened with monk fruit. That's really, if you know what that is, it's not going to raise blood sugar.
It's really only 2 grams of sugar. I refer to it as the sweet without the cheat.
Any of these things out here are designed to be money-saving, nutrition-giving, and life-enhancing. And this is a big deal. So you'll find out, like thousands of other people did, that these things will help you live healthy longer.
Let's go.